let's do this. I shouldn't have worn my jacket. I should have. You can see that I got some green on for St. Patty's Day. There was a few years that I didn't wear green. Not in protest, just wasn't feeling the greenness. Let's get the numbers things out of the way. Twitter, I am down to under 250. I might even get to under 200 by tomorrow. So I'll keep you guys abreast of that. I'm like, I sometimes I go on Discord and I ask people for advice, and it's not that they don't give me advice, that it's not that they don't give me advice, they give me advice, but it's just like I can't use it. It's just like it's like I feel detached, and I feel kind of like an obligation with the advice that they're giving, that it's like, you don't know what it's like. It's like, somebody who's never streamed before, who's watched a lot of streams, giving advice on how to stream, and it's like going, you don't know what streaming is like. You don't know what being a VTuber. Streamers don't know what being a VTuber is like unless they're a VTuber. Because they think it's all, I'm sitting here in my underwear, and I would imagine that I don't know what it's like to be a 2D or a 3D model, because I'm a PNG tuber. I probably don't. I don't do any motion capture at all. Excuse me. And thank you, anybody who said bless you or Gesundheit. Thank you. Oh my God, my brain. Brains. So yeah, I'm like, I'll probably sneeze again. Jeez Louise. Yeah, maybe I can sniff it up. Yeah, so so like when somebody who is not a streamer, and they've supported streamers, like I said, they've watched streamers a lot, gives advice on a question, and I've asked many a question. And I always think, when they give this bad advice, it's not bad advice. It's probably the best advice that they could come up with for what they know. And I am like in a totally different realm, and I always feel like when somebody does this to me, that they don't know the whole picture. They don't know everything. They're coming. They gave that advice based on what limited things I gave out. Let me give them more information. So I try to give more information, like, oh, well, the reason that I can't use that advice is because these things, this. And then it becomes an attack on them or something like that. And I don't mind having cross Discord and stuff like that. I think that's where they call the freaking platform Discord. I don't mind having people with differences of opinions, defending their. In fact, I encourage it. The only thing that I have is that when it just devolves down into like nothing, because I explained why it wouldn't work, and then they latch onto one part of that, and they try to explain why, since this part of this is wrong, the whole thing is wrong, and we've gotten so far off track that we've lost sight of what my original question was. And it's like going, I just asked a question. So this time that I just recently asked another question, and I'm going to take their advice and circular file it, and hopefully somebody else gives advice. Normally when one person gives advice, everybody else just kind of like says, well, that's the question, it's answered. So I don't have an answer. And it's fine. It's fine. As many times I do that, and I think the main reason that I always ask these questions and I put ideas out there and I do this stuff is because I want people to feel involved. I want people to, at the end of every one of these videos, I ask for freaking comments, and, your thoughts. It would be wonderful if I could have that. And if we go off, this is the difference. If we go off topic, this video isn't going anywhere. I will probably, bring up the topic and stuff like that and make that the focus. Make it the focus of the video. And as you know, I go off topic anyway, so it happens all the time. But I think it's like when I have a question and I just kind of want questions answered. I try my best to answer people. When people put out questions, I try to answer the questions as best I can. And I don't know, sometimes I guess they're just rhetorical questions. And they're not really looking. Most people aren't looking for answers when they ask questions like that. They're just basically like saying, like, it is the question. The answer is the question. And who cares? That wasn't a rhetorical question. I really want to know who cares. I try to be the one who does. So, I guess I'm very naive in the fact that I think the people who ask questions are looking for an answer or answers. I gotta realize it, and I still don't. I still fail on that. That most people, not here I said most people, that a lot of people, it's basically give them more information under the guise that this is why I can't use your answer, because this, and this. These other factors are involved. And when they go after those factors, it's like, I'm not attacking. And I hate to say it, sometimes it's just, because it's bullheaded, thickness, and repetitive, repeat the same freaking answer over and over again, that I basically said I couldn't use. I can't. You have to come up with a different answer, or don't say like, I'm sorry, you can't use my answer. I mean, repeating it, I think is idiotic. Not that the person's an idiot. The person's probably the smartest person around. But the thing is that I definitely think that a person who repeats the same answer, expecting a different result from, is insanity, and I think that that's idiotic. We have to come up with different solutions. I also think that I'm stubborn, I'm pig-headed, I'm all that stuff. And I should be called out on it every single time. I don't like it, just so you know. I don't like it when I'm being stubborn, thick-headed, and I'm not going to tell you that it's something that's enjoyable. It doesn't feel good sometimes to be proven wrong. I have some core values that if I bring those things out, that's a fight. And as most people know, one of the big things that is my core value is I don't like bullies. I don't like to be a bully. And if somebody sees me bullying people, they should call me out on that. There's a difference between being assertive and being a bully. And if I'm trying to bend and twist somebody's their core beliefs and their way of thinking, if I'm trying to change a person's way of thinking, that's the last thing I want to do. I love to see how people arrive at different conclusions, and the path that they take. That's a way of thinking. Like bullying is one of my core values. It's one of my core thought. It actually, all things being relative, it permeates into a lot of things. I don't protect it. It doesn't. That value of mine doesn't need to be protected. But it is kind of my hammer. So I try to use other tools and things like that. Other than saying stop bullying, this is bullying, and this is how I feel about it. I've said this before, and I'm going to get political on everybody right now. I do not condone a single thing that Hamas has done. I do not condone it. I do not even understand why they poked the bear. I don't know. It makes no sense to me, and that's what makes them terrorists. And terrorists, in my opinion, are bullies. So you can see where I feel about that. The response to them poking the bear and being the bigger and stronger and better equipped force, they could have handled it a lot better. I think that diplomacy is a tool in the arsenal, but maybe diplomacy is not going to work in that respect. But what the response was for a terrorist cell, terrorist organization, it's not a people, the response to it was to kill them all. And I think that the innocents, the Palestinians, I think that Israel is bullying Palestinians. Something that they have no say or control of or anything like that. I'm not going to be able to park very long, but we will do it for a couple minutes. And I say a couple minutes, I'm going to probably be like 15 minutes. I am not boots on the ground. I do not know what's really happening there. I do know that innocent people are getting killed. I know that the entire place has been bombed. That has happened. I mean, you can't say it didn't. And innocent people have died. Yeah, and when I think that if Israel had separated Hamas from Palestine, from the Palestinians, separated those into two individual separate identities, even if Hamas is the controlling government, it's still, Palestinians are not Hamas. And innocent people are not shields. It's tragic. And I do think that our government involvement, because we're allies with Israel, we have an alliance, has to always make the decision whether the alliance is worth keeping. And that's something that's probably being debated right now. I agree with the don't stop talking about it. I agree with giving a voice to the people who deserve protection, who deserve the right to be free of tyranny. And it is just absolutely awful. Because if anything, our war on terror has proven, even our domestic terror, if anything that it's proven is that with the hammer response. Like I said, that's one of my things that I sometimes think is a hammer. With a hammer response, it increases the problem as opposed to resolving the problem. Nothing gets resolved with hate. Nothing gets resolved with hate. Not a single situation, not a 20-year war, or over 20-year war, where the people who weren't even born are now fighting a war on hate, or of hate, I should say. Just like it hurts my heart. It really does. And not for a second, not for 1 second, do I support what Hamas has done. And I think that Hamas has caused the pain that Israel is inflicting, and it's the bigger person. I mean, can Israel be the bigger people to not give that, to not basically give them what they wanted? Again, it's not resolving the problem. And I hate to say it, there's a lot of things that I hate. I hate to say what I hate. Shit. But I don't like to hate things. But I do hate. There are things that I hate. There are things that I dislike. There are, I dislike greatly. I dislike with, fervent anger. If you've watched any of these videos, you know that I have no love. I'm wearing my post office jacket because it's cool out. It's not even that cool, but I wore my post office jacket, and I do not like the post office. I like what the post office does, but I do not like working for the post office. And because I know how the inner workings and stuff like that, I feel bad for the carriers. I feel bad for anybody who actually has the job, including the postmasters, including the people on up. I feel bad that this is what they have to deal with. And they deal with it, they're going to be dealing with it forever. Or at least within my lifetime. They were dealing with it before. And it just finally reared its ugly head. It is not an organization that I would align myself with. There you go. Bringing about alliances. I would fight tooth and nail for better working conditions, better things, and use myself as the example of like how poorly trained, how poorly adapted, and how poorly organized the entire post office system is set up. But I will never, quote unquote, go postal on the post office. It's probably not even within my nature, because like I've said a million times already, or at least a lot of times, is that it's my nature to be helpful. And I don't think that it's helpful with my anger and, dislike for what is happening think it's helpful to be on the attack. But I will not stand idly by and talk about how it's a good organization or how I liked it. Never. I have never said that. Even when I was working there and I could not talk about what I worked for, I had never said anything really nice about it. My treatment is not unique, and it's not uncommon. And there are a lot of people that get the same treatment that basically just shut up and deal with it. And for them, they feel that they're better for it. But they don't realize that they're getting scraps. And what little scraps that they get, they're trying to take those scraps away from you. And when they take them away, everybody's going to be, how did this happen? Why did this happen? And I'm sorry. The writing's on the fucking wall. And, a lot of people, I can't even tell you how many people think that going from that job to my current job is like insanity. Because the job that I'm doing right now is rough, and it's a hard job, and it's a lot of politics. And the sad thing about it is that, and it could just be because I'm still new to it, I'm in a much better place, spiritually, mentally, physically, than I was with the post office. And I use the post office because that's an easy thing. But I've had worse jobs. I've done worse jobs. And I've had much better jobs. I've had much better jobs than this. And I think they know it. And I think that they don't care. I think they think they're just going to use me up as best they can. And I'm accepting of that. I definitely think that the job that I'm doing now is I'm in a much better place to be helpful. So my nature is being utilized a little bit better. But my creativity, that's all stifled. That's all stifled to no end. As always, cool beans in the comments below if you can't think of anything else to write. But if you want to write a nice little comment, you want to talk about what we just discussed, I am all ears. I am more than welcoming. And if you have another topic that you want me to bring up, you want to change the subject, you can write that in the comments below too. We will figure it all out. I will definitely use it. Yeah. And whatever you're doing after this, I hope you're having a fantastic time doing it. I hope you get to be creative. I hope you get to be you. And because that's what's most important. Yeah. So take care.